your truth, we have no identification of the truth. We are completely identified with our body and mind. If we want to realize the truth, effort is needed 100%. Where there is mind, effort is necessary. In truth, there is no mind. We are all identifying with the mind, We think we are the mind. It may be. We are neither this body, neither this mind. It is a formula. But in practice, we are completely identifying with the mind. As we identify with the mind, effort is necessary. By practice and by effort, the truth will be known in due time. Individual is called ego. Ego and individual practitioner are the same. We should not feed the ego by word or deed. Particularly, we should not feed the ego sense. If you are accustomed not to feed the ego, automatically it will take that ego itself will die. Naturally, we have to identify with the self, with the truth. And that self means here the truth. Self is God, the truth is God. True self is God. If we are living without the ego sense, naturally and normally, we avoid in the self. Yes, self-inquiry or self-surrender. Both are the same. Self-inquiry or self-surrender lead the seeker to awakening. Only if you keep the individual life in its source, generally it will die naturally. The individual life will die naturally. Then it is to kill the individual life. That is the purpose of self-inquiry. Self-surrender is the safest path. If you really believe in God, self-surrender is necessary. If you are a doubting Thomas, if you are a self-inquiry is necessary. If you believe truly in God, in God's existence, there is a God. You must believe it. If you believe in God's existence, self-surrender is necessary to awakening. As a complete purification is needed for awakening. Without complete purification, we cannot realize truth. Partial purification necessary in the beginning. By practice, complete purification also, it will come. We need not doubt about it. If we become 100% pure, then a strong sense of I, it will get natural death. When purification arises, sufficient purification is enough. Then the sense of strong I, sense of strong I is based on vasanas and tendencies. Without the tendencies, there is no sense of I. If you become pure enough, the sense of I will be removed. We are giving sense to the sense of I. By continuous practicing purity, the sense of I also will be removed. No higher realization and no lower realization. Realization is one. If a man is realized, it is one. In realization, no higher state, no lower state. It is truth. Truth has no higher and lower. If there are limitations in the mind, they are not realized souls. They are not realized souls. In the mind, they are bound. They are bound. There are different stages in the evolution of the mind, not in realization. If they get no mind state, that is complete realization, no mind state. Truth is one. A realization also is one. If they, Jesus said, if you know the truth, and the truth only shall make you free. Realization means you must realize the truth. Truth has no limitation. In the mind has limitation. If you realize the truth, there are no limitations. Truth is beauty, truth is God. If there is a traces of mind, there is no realization. There are some stages in evolution of the mind, no stages in the realization, it is complete. By Manonasya only, truth realization will come. Without Manonasya, we cannot realize the truth. We cannot realize it. Manonasya is a must. Manolaya is different from Manonasya. Manolaya will lead to Manonasya. Without Manonasya, we cannot realize the truth. It must lie. Correct, that is correct. But after you attain the moksha, after you realize the truth, absolute silence and real silence, the true silence is in moksha. That is Dakshinamurti attained. Dakshinamurti taught the disciples through silence. Silence also teaches the disciples. And it is not an ordinary silence. It is a true silence. With the Manonasya, true silence, absolute silence, real silence will come. It will teach. It will teach. Dakshinamurti attained that state. So he taught the disciples. Manonasya is required for moksha. We need not doubt about it. Manonasya is required for moksha. Moksha, nirvana state, is the absolute silence. I already told you, absolute silence, real silence, true silence is another name for moksha, is another name for liberation. Yes. You asked a nice question. I have to answer it. It is a disputed question. After realization also, to some people, there are tendencies. Suppose Vishwamitra also was a great realizer. After realization also, there is some weaknesses in Vishwamitra. But according to Buddha, moksha means nirvana state. Complete tendencies must lie before realization. Tendencies is the oil, and light is the realization. It is a release from what you are not. It is a release. Moksha means release from what you are not. According to Hindus, according to Buddha, nirvana means complete destruction of the vasana, more than realization. Buddha says nirvana state is more than liberation. But in Hindu says, after the moksha also, there are some tendencies, some weaknesses may be there. But when the body dies, some weaknesses are gone also. When the body dies, some minor weaknesses are washed by the grace of Guru and by the grace of God. Yes, you are correct. After realization also, there may be some weaknesses. You need not doubt about it. Vijayamukti is different from Jivanmukti. It is not dependent on the tendencies. At the time of body is there, Jivanmukti, Vijayamukti will come. is not related to tendencies. Tendencies is different. It will take time to weaken the tendencies. But after realization also, maybe some weaknesses are there. But it may not be bind the soul. But according to Buddha, the greatest thing is to remove the tendencies. That is you have to practice it. The repetition is samsara. Don't repeat tendency. Naturally it will go. It will be weakened and better. There are some teachers, there are some gurus, they cannot express that truth. They got realization in their hearts, but they cannot express what they felt. They cannot express. Of course, some people got realization,
but they can't teach.
But they cannot express that truth. But the expression is a gift of God. Some teachers will give grace. If they express one sentence, in the sentence itself there will be grace. There is grace. In the sentence itself. Some gurus, like college lecturers, but they are only teachers. They are not gurus. They are teachers. Only acharyas, without giving grace, some teachers are there. They are like lecturers. They learn some Stotras, Brahma Sutras and Upanishads, and they taught them. But they will not give grace. Without giving grace, you cannot understand the truth. Only, suppose Ramana, Ramakrishna, they give grace. Some teachers will teach the truth, but they cannot give grace. Some gurus may have siddhis. Some gurus may use siddhis. Some gurus, if they have siddhis, they cannot express it. They cannot show siddhis to others because siddhis also are obstacles to realization, truth realization. Ramana Maharshi, Buddha also have great siddhis. Buddha. But if anybody shows the siddhi, he said to them, you go away. You get it. He did not show the siddhis here. Because if you show the siddhis to sadhakas here, they will miss the path. They will miss the truth. All siddhis are obstacles to absolute truth. Buddha says often. Don't exhibit siddhis. Don't exhibit siddhis. If you show the siddhis to disciples, they miss the truth. They miss the truth. And they cannot follow the true path. Realization, truth realization is a must, not siddhis. Not siddhis. If you want to be a guru, you must realize the truth. Siddhis is not necessary. Suppose many Ramana Maharshi also did not show any siddhi, but he has some siddhis. Ramakrishna also has some siddhis. He can exhibit if he wants. He did not exhibit any siddhis because of realization. They gave the grace. Ramana Maharshi and Ramakrishna also, they gave the grace to disciples, but they did not exhibit the siddhis. Miracles will mislead the disciples. Then, in the presence of a jnani, in the presence of a great jnani, automatic action will come. Automatic siddhis may happen. But they cannot exhibit. They cannot. Automatic divine, that is called automatic divine action. A divine force. In the presence of some gurus, some divine forces may work there, but it is not siddhi. Without their sankalpa, some divine forces may work through them, through their body. Ramakrishna, there are some people drunkards. There are some drunkards. They removed their habits. Ramakrishna removed their habits. They came holy man. All habits are obstacles to truth. Habits is life. Without habits, no money. You need not spend any money without habits. Habits should come from the vasanas, from the tendencies. Out of Buddhist grace, some habits will be removed, will be eliminated, will be shattered. This is called automatic divine action. In the presence of Ramakrishna, there are some drunkards. They are all gave up the drinking by the grace of Ramakrishna. Without there so much effort, by the grace of Ramakrishna only, they are eliminated. Their vasana tendencies are eliminated, tendencies are removed. They became holy. In the presence of all Gurus said holy company is necessary. Because in the presence of holy company, some vibrations will come from the people to eliminate habits, to bad habits. Bad and good also in the mind. They are friends also. If you cultivate the good, it will fill the mind, and the goodness also, you will purify the mind. After you reach the purification, goodness also will go. Because it is also in the origin of the mind. Where there is bad, there is good. Where there is good, there is bad. Only they are in the mind. Goodness will remove badness, and in the end, goodness will help us to realize that truth. In Samadhi only, we recognize the truth. Sahaja Samadhi is a natural state, is a true state, is a normal state. There are three kinds of Samadhi: Savikalpa, Nirvikalpa, and natural, and Sahaja Samadhi. Sahaja Samadhi, it is truth. It is Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa is temporary state. If you close our eyes, it is Nirvikalpa. If you open our eyes, it is Savikalpa. But you know the truth only in Samadhi. Without Samadhi, we cannot see the truth. We cannot recognize the truth. So Samadhi is necessary. Most of Jnana, if we get the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that is enough to get realization. And in Samadhi, whether it is Savikalpa or Nirvikalpa, if we get Samadhi state, you know the truth. In Samadhi state only, truth will be revealed. Or suppose Ramana Maharshi is a Sahaja Samadhi, is always in Sahaja Samadhi. Suppose Ramakrishna Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he may get. But any Samadhi, Savikalpa, Nirvikalpa or Sahaja, in the Samadhi, without getting Samadhi, truth will get. You cannot realize the truth. In Samadhi, only truth will be revealed. In Sahaja Samadhi, state, effort is not necessary. And rituals also are not necessary to him. Rituals, pujas, he is above all these things. Sahaja Samadhi, only he who gets Samadhi state is above the world also. Above the world and above the God. Above the body also. Truth. But he did not see any difference also. Whether he is a brahmachari, he is a brahmachari, he did not see any difference. He sees that truth only in all of us. In him, there is no bad man or good man. You realize that Sahaja state, there is no bad man or good man. Because this is the only truth. Bad and good is in the mind. Bad and good is not in the truth. Constant remembrance. In the end, he may do practice what he likes, but in the end, God's grace or Guru's grace is necessary to merge in the truth. In the last minute, you may try according to our nature, to merge in the truth. But truth, grace, grace is not different from truth. Truth is not different from grace. Truth itself is grace. But grace is necessary in the end. In the end, our effort is not enough. Our effort is not enough. Our effort is needed, but it is not enough. In the end, God's grace, God's truth is God. Truth, God's grace, it is a must to merge in the truth.